Taurus, this is going to be your February money, finance, career, and business reading. And or when you come across this reading, feel free to leave a comment below if this reading resonates for you. Feel free to like, share, follow across all social media platforms. Website link below. I do readings over video chat, text, IM, messenger, email, phone call. Just send me a text before you send me a phone call so I know what the phone call is about. This wants to come out first and foremost for you, Taurus. Okay, judgment in reverse. This is being too harsh on yourself. Okay, you're beating yourself up, and that's no way to make money. That's no way to improve finances. That's no way to, advance in your career. That's no way to run a successful business. You want to start to move out of this survival mechanism, this old Newtonian model that about, 99.99% of us, if not more, live in, which is, low vibe frequency. I know it's, been possible and, not sustainable, possible in this old world model, but the world is shifting. Everything is becoming online and over the video chat or over the phone or, over Zoom. Point being is that, really truly the heart of where the future is headed is internally, emotionally. Okay, your thinking. Okay, being the awareness of the thoughts and being the awareness that applies thinking and doesn't allow the thinking to apply you. Right, the thinking doesn't run the show. You run the show. You're the awareness of the show. Thoughts and thinking are only for, your direction, your discernment, and not for basking in emotional sadness and traumas and paranoias and self-criticisms and judgments. To tie it back to the card that emerged for you, Scorpionic energy, rebirth energy, that Scorpionic energy in the reverse. Okay, when you take it easy on yourself, when you give yourself more space and time, and actually you move outside of space and time into the quantum realm, where emotions and thoughts tend to exist and emanate from. Okay, because everything's happening simultaneously. Space and time is actually, quite somewhat of an illusion, only, prone to the human and sentient experience of our level of conscious awareness. Our brain has all these capacities for, filters, filtrations, to reduce, our sensory overload. Actually, that's why psychedelics were, such a popular phenomenon throughout history. Whenever they were, most recently in the '60s, subvertedly underground. But essentially, what those do is those remove those veneer filters from your mind. And essentially expose you to the truth of the overall, capacity to which you can experience. Point being, when you're vibing high, when you're magnetizing, that's when you see opportunity abound. That's when you see your life at a whole new level, and that's when you can overcome and achieve and conquer even the sneakiest or slipperiest, the slipperiest of situations. The most muddy of situations, because you're going to be the backbone that holds everything together, because you're going to be vibing high, and you're going to be, essentially divinely guided and protected quantumly, because you're choosing happiness and harmony and bliss, unconditional love and favor for the spirit of self, the highest self, the quantum self, which we all are at that quantum level, that unconditional level, okay, that source eminence, that source emerging level. Okay, so, but it starts with taking it easy on yourself and not being as, critical, not being as harsh of a judge on yourself, Taurus. Okay, this is going to improve finances greatly February and forward. When you do this, you come out of this anxiously prone, anxiety-fueled state of being. Okay, that's the expression of fear, is through anxiety, and anxiety is suppressed, and then eventually that suppression of anxiety, turns into a depression, and that's where your state of depression lies. So when you vibe high, and Taurus being a practical energy, your thoughts and your mind and your heart are set on the beautiful, benevolent here and now, which is formless, unconditional, free of titles. Okay, all we have is this here and now, this space of here and now, infinite, endless opportunity and potential. But if the filter of the egoic self and the egoic mind reduce that to, the opposite of abundance, the opposite of fertility, then all you have is lack and squalor. So point being, all this jargon is to say that you are enough, you are empowered, you were born empowered, you were born enough, you were born happy, whole, and complete with honor and glory. These things aren't things that you find outside of yourself. They're merely things that you channel, that you choose to put on yourself, essentially, almost as if you're choosing a new identity, a new self, right? The next version of yourself that you're going to grow into. And that's something to be excited about, because guess where it starts? Right here and now. If your identity is that of someone who is rich, financially healthy, abundant, wealthy in mind, body, and soul, philanthropic, compassionate, then yes, that's what you're going to be. And that's who you can create and formulate for yourself with your mind and with your feelings. So that's the great news. That's the awesome news. There is no bad news, okay? It's more and more good news. It's a win-and-win situation for you, because you get to leave this old, outdated model of abundance and lack and squalor. Okay, so let's see what else. Yeah, because currently this is just a frequency. This is unable to provide for your own overhead. This is unable to, find balance, right? Balance is found in the center of self. So really, truly, when you lose yourself versus when you really find the true self. Finding the true self requires you to lose the false self. And that's how you regain your consciousness and your balance, essentially. Your stability, your equilibrium between mind and heart. That's what Joe Dispenza calls mind and heart coherence. Okay, so that's just a frequency. Literally, I use a metaphor of just a radio station. You're on this shitty radio station, and what you're doing is you're fighting against it by not going with the flow and just tuning into some more pleasant, melodic, classical music, or something that really goes naturally with who you are. And what I mean by naturally, by who you are, or naturally who you are, I should say, is that we're all here. We all have a purpose. We all have a specialty, something that we're good at. And when you start to harmonize with the self, that's when you're really dancing. Okay, and that's what that Two of Pentacles in the reverse is. When it's turned in the upright, that's when you're really flowing and dancing and having fun and creating with reality. Okay, and this also might lead you to, find your tribe, find your soulmates. This could also be some past nostalgic energy where you think that the past is better than now. That's not true at all, okay? Excuse me, you have the opportunity to create, your future self here and now, almost to the point where you're remembering your future self. Okay, think about that. You're remembering your future self, because in the quantum realm, there is no space and time. There's no past, present, future. It's merely just what you're tuning into. Okay, so if you don't want to tune into, bad experiences that make you feel bad, then guess what? They never happened. That's how much you're empowered in the here and now. Okay. Now, that's not to say in practical, 2 feet on the ground, standards or definitions that, you're acting reckless, or, again, that's all low vibratory energy. We're talking about really, truly tapping into that excitement and zest for life, so much to the point where you're seeing opportunity and you're vibing high, and also so much to the point where you're actually, able to view others and see where they're vibing at. Okay. Yes, coming out of a toxic, codependent, overzealous, overpassioned relationship, possibly. Could be substance abuse, could be toxic environment, toxic people, toxic self-thought, anything that's lowering your vibration, right? I once heard a great man or a great woman say, I can't remember, that the devil subtracts, meaning it lowers your vibration, and God adds, okay? So just think about that. Satan, the devil subtracts, God adds. So, when you're an adolescent, you're adding less. When you're an adult, you're adding more, right? So, yeah, something to think about. Kind of interesting wordplay. I think I heard Dick Gregory say that one. Don't quote me on that. But okay, so this is you showing up tried and true in your Hierophant Taurus energy, fixed Earth sign energy, 5 of conflict, so as to lead you to your high spiritual path, down your high spiritual path. This enlightenment, again, is coming from within. What did we talk about? The radio station, the frequency that we're choosing to tune into. Okay, you tune into that by having thoughts of abundance, thoughts of opportunity, thoughts of possibility, thoughts of excitement. And in turn, now your body has a vehicle for expression, expressing those feelings. How does it feel to be excited? How does it feel to be joyous and abundant? And you're reprogramming yourself and training yourself bit by bit, day by day. This new person that I'm creating. When I wake up in the morning, I choose to feel compassionate towards itself. I choose to feel, in a meditative way, whole and complete and solemn and even small and comfortable within the self. Okay? Or whatever it is that matches your vibration. But as long as you're being true to that vibration and finding what is the kind of, most tried and true, what's the most kind of harmonic, sultry version that I could flip that vibration towards. Because, like a battery, there's going to be a positive and a negative. So you want to choose to gently choose the positive, okay, no matter what, level your tide is at. Because everything that we're talking about theoretically is all about raising the tide of your vibration. And in turn, it raises the tide of your money, okay? It raises the tide of your abundance. It lowers the restrictions and obstacles and standards to you meeting your, definition of abundance. And thus you find more contentment, you find more wholeness, you find more satisfaction. That doesn't mean that you can't have nice things, but it's less of a rat race. It's less of an empty, hollow experience and journey as we saw, in the 2000s and the 90s and before that. At least in large, higher societally. So there's this big, shift and transformation that we're all going through. And it starts by literally, vibing high at a different level, at a genuine level, okay? So I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I've given you enough of an air beating, Taurus. I know it's a lot of information to, kind of try to, take in. I'm throwing a lot of words at you, but, I'm confident that you're smart enough. Feel free to give this video another view. If you found something interesting, write me in a comment below. I love to thumbs up and give you a heart and respond back. I love interacting with my viewership and people out there. And like I said, if you ever want a one-on-one reading, feel free to reach out. All my info is below. Accepting good karma donations, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo below as well. I can't do this without you guys. I'm doing this full time. And, I appreciate the support in all ways, many and all ways. And thank you, Spirit of Love and Light, for providing these messages, this frequency, this energy. And best to you, Taurus. Peace.